Okay, 5 minutes for the do now. I'm setting a timer now. You are determining if these theses, whatever, are getting the thesis point for a DBQ, and then you are brainstorming outside evidence. 5 minutes is on the clock. Three and a half minutes left on the do now. If you are done with the do now, text your friends that are not here and tell them to get on APUSH so they can get their points. Three minutes left on the do now. One more minute left on the do now. Thirty more seconds. Great. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we are going to get started. Be prepared to get cold called. So you can get those cold call points in your weekly quiz grade. Okay, so your do now is using the reflection questions to see whether or not these theses, these example theses, don't know what the plural version of thesis is, if they would get the DBQ thesis point. So starting with thesis A, would thesis A get the thesis point, Nyasha?
Yes, it would get the point for the thesis because they explain both how the war affected and didn't affect the home front.
Okay. What about thesis B? Would thesis B get the point, Madison?
All right, sorry. Okay. I said no because I said like, what did I? I said it was like very broad. It doesn't go into specifics. Like there needs to be like clear subplanes that the paragraphs are gonna talk about.
Beautiful. Just writing something down. Yes, so Madison, just to stamp what she just said, what's really important is that that thesis B does not have any subclaims or a line of reasoning. It simply answers the question. It doesn't explain what is going to be coming in the rest of the paper. Okay, finally, what about thesis C, Naziah?
You said for part C?
Mm-hmm.
I said no, they wouldn't get the point because they don't fully analyze the extent of the change and they don't explain their change at all. They just put it there.
Yes. Beautiful. Sorry, I'm getting something in the chat. Great. Yes, so exactly. So thesis C is definitely one of those weird ones where it feels like it might get the point, but honestly it doesn't because like Naziah just said, it answers the question, but again, it doesn't really establish that line of reasoning, and it doesn't say to what extent. It just says it transformed it and gave a couple of shallow reasonings. Great. Now let's talk about the DBQ. Imagine you were writing this DBQ. What are some context points that you would use in your intro paragraph? When I call on you, you can just say like one or two. Starting with Ariana.
I'm gonna say the foreign affairs policy and like I guess the changing job opportunities for African Americans and women.
Great. Build on what Ariana just said, Cedric.
I would say World War II, and could you say women working in factories? What do you call that? Rosie the Riveter.
Beautiful. Okay, so something I want to point out that Cedric just did is she went from a general statement of women going to work during World War II and changed it to a specific key term. So remember that that is one of the most important things that you can do is be as specific with your key terms as possible. I'm just going to build on this. So analyze the extent of change in the domestic United States during the Second World War. Another good one would be the Great Depression, which is kind of alluded to in thesis C. So you have the Great Depression is a good way to talk about World War II. Maybe even the Great Migration, African Americans displacing themselves from the South into the North and finding new places to live and function. You also have, what else? You have a lot of things. You could use the Red Scare because the Red Scare was happening in the 1920s. You could also use the 1920s with things like flappers, where women get some more liberation, prohibition. There are a lot of different ones that you can use for this. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing very quickly, and I want to go over a couple things of what we're going to do today. So today I am going to be setting a timer for 18 minutes. And what I want you guys to do in that 18 minutes is read the documents and come up with sense and significance statements and create a planning page for the set of documents that you are given. You're not going to write the DBQ. You're just going to do all of the pre-work of planning it and annotating the documents. Now, what's important to know is that everybody that is in here that works on this packet will be getting a completion grade of a 100%, so long as I know that you are actually doing the work. Yes, Madison.
What's the question so I could answer the significance statements good?
This, the question is in the class packet. So
Where?
it says class assignment, and it has your instructions, and then underneath it's the prompt. It says prompt, documents 1 through 5 reveal political actions in response to the Great Depression.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out, because other people might not have been able to find it. So long as you are working on this and I see effort, you're going to be getting a 100% on this. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I need to see where people are getting stuck and just where you guys are getting stuck, because I need to make sure we are problem solving that before your final APUSH DBQ in just a week and a half, in 11 days. So this is like, we really need to take all of this really seriously. Another thing to be aware of is that I'm going to be cold calling you, and I'm going to be asking where you're at in your planning or in your annotations. And what I want you to do is message me in the chat your cold call answer so we don't disrupt other people. So for example, maybe like 4 minutes into this, I might say, Nyasia, where are you at in terms of your annotations? And she is going to message me where she's at. Once you do that, that is how you're going to be getting your cold call points for today if I call on you. If you do not respond, you will be getting a 0 for that cold call. Yes, Isis.
So it's gonna be how we did it for our practice DBQ, where we had the documents and then just wrote down sense and
Yes.
significance.
Yes. If you would prefer to handwrite these on normal pieces of paper, that's fine. Just make sure that you are doing the full planning page and the full annotations. Yes, Ziara.
I have a question. So the sense and significance statements are all the way on the last page. So can we just write it under the document, so it's much easier than going all the way to the bottom of the page?
Yeah, that's fine. That's why if you want to do it on regular paper, that is also okay. As long as I see sense and significance statements, that's fine. Any other questions about what we're doing today? Yes, Isis.
Okay, last question. They don't have to be full-on sentences, right? For this sentence.
No, for your sense and significance statements, if you can, that's fine. But for your sense, if you just say like sense POV, and then you just like do like 2 to 3 words describing his bias, that is fine, as long as it's enough to where if you were to write your essay, you would be able to activate your sense statement knowledge. But no, I'm not looking for like full complete sentences, because I am more worried about you guys getting through all of the work, as opposed to, you know, wasting your time trying to write these beautiful sentences, which I know you can do, but that's not the most important thing right now. Great. Any other questions? Awesome. Be prepared to get cold called on. Message me your response. I look forward to seeing the types of annotations that you guys go through. I am starting the timer for 18 minutes. Go ahead and get started now. I will give you periodic time reminders of where you should be. "15 minutes on your planning and annotations. You should be on document number 2. Jamal, can you tell me where you are at in your planning? Ziara, can you tell me where you are at? Thank you, Ziara. Erin just asked a good question. The more important thing for document 2 to be focused on is the line, is the bread line, what I have in the source line for it. All of the signs, don't worry about, just focus on that line. There's nothing important that you need to read in that picture. Kezia, can you tell me where you are at, please? Thank you, Kezia. We're at 11 minutes left. You should be on document number 4 to keep with pacing. Serge, can you let me know where you are at, please? Serge. Thank you, Serge. Erin, can you let me know where you are at, please? Thank you, Erin. Erica, can you let me know where you are at? Thank you, Erica. Sergio, can you let me know where you are at, please? Darius, can you let me know where you are at, please? We're at just under 8 minutes. You should be finishing up your annotations or working on your planning page. Thank you, Adarius. Anthony, can you let me know where you were at, please? Thank you, Anthony. And Montana, can you let me know where you were at, please? We're at 5 minutes left. Just over 3 minutes left. Everybody should be done with the annotations and should be working on some type of planning.
Where's the prompt?
1 more minute. Okay, everybody go ahead and pause. That is time. Now, again, I want to stress everybody that is in this call needs to submit this before 11 o'clock. I do not want the temptation of you guys going back and finishing this later to mess up with what I'm trying to do. You are all here, and as long as I see effort, and as long as when, for those of you guys that I cold called, as long as like I see the annotations that you say you made, as long as I see them, we're gonna be fine. This is for me to see where people got stuck and where we need to focus our timing and speed on. So please do not go back and finish this if you did not get the chance to finish. As long as I see effort and something that falls in line with like how far you would get in annotations in class. I know you guys, and I know who it goes really fast and who takes a little bit longer. I am aware of how much all of you individually can get done in 18 minutes. So just don't go back and finish it. I need to see where these flaws are, or where these gaps are. So now that that is done, I'm gonna go ahead and go over a couple things for this week. Tomorrow, we are going to be doing another practice DBQ. And so what that's going to look like is very similar to the last time, where you come on the call, you write the DBQ, and then you submit it by the end of the class so I can again see the gaps. You guys will have your grades from last week's DBQ by end of day today, so by 3:15. And for those of you guys that want to do corrections or want clarifications on your grade, if you come to my office hours from 3:15 to 4 o'clock today, that will count as your corrections. So if you see that you got, and I'll have it displayed, basically the grades for these DBQs is 50% did you do the thing, so 50% completion, and then the other 50% of your grade is based off of quality. So at minimum, if you do it, it's a 50%. And if you get a grade on the DBQ that you feel like you need corrected, or you want more feedback before the next DBQ, which is tomorrow, and again before the AP exam, which is in 11 days, this is the best opportunity for us to go through corrections and for me to help explain to you why you got the grade that you did. So again, just coming to office hours today from 3:15 to 4, 3:20, if I'm gonna be honest, because of our staff meeting going a little bit longer usually, that is how you can get those corrections and get that grade back up to a 100% where you want it to be. And the same thing will happen with tomorrow's DBQ as well. So today, this is just a completion grade. Tomorrow is going to be a practice DBQ. You are going to come on, we're gonna do a short do now, and then you are going to write a DBQ in 45 minutes. So it's essential that you guys are on time, not just for your Zoom grade, but to make sure you get all 45 minutes to write your essay. Any questions on how the DBQs are being graded and what's going on tomorrow? For those of you guys like Jamal who have an altered schedule and can only come to APUSH Monday, Wednesday, Friday, please just make it up when you can, and make sure that you are limiting yourself to 45 minutes. That is all my request is that you only take 45 minutes to do it, so that way I can grade you accurately based off of a College Board rubric. Any other questions? Great. I'll go ahead and give you guys a heads up. You won't be able to get this on the day of the AP exam, obviously, but as a heads up, tomorrow's DBQ is going to be on progressives and muckrakers in the progressive era. Yes, Dwayne.
Do you want us to hand these notes in now?
Yes. Great. So I want you guys to now take the next 5 minutes. You don't need 5 minutes. 4 minutes to complete the exit ticket in today's packet. So the very last page is your exit ticket. It has 2 reflection questions. What was the hardest part to complete? And what changes are you going to make in your planning to have better timing during tomorrow's DBQ? If you follow this 18-minute 18-minute plan, 45 minutes minus 18 is 20. That will give you 27 minutes to write an essay. So the goal is to have 18 minutes of reading and planning, 27 minutes to write. Go ahead and take another 2 to 3 minutes to finish those reflection questions. Once you're done, I do want to talk about these reflection questions out loud, and then we're going to get out a couple minutes early today. Give you guys 1 more minute. Great. I will take hands. What was the hardest part of getting all of this done in 18 minutes? Jade.
I said the hardest part was like connecting my significant statements back to my prompt.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really trail on too much to my sense statement.
Okay. Who else? Let me see some hands, or I'll cold call. Or I'll actually just wait instead of getting us out early. Isis.
I said the hardest part was trying to figure out what to write for the sense statement.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So was it like trying to find your bias? Was the hardest part?
Yes.
Malachi, what was the hardest part?
I think my hardest part was just like having to scroll up and down so much and then type and remember what I wanted to say about the document.
So after, just to build off of Malachi's statement, does working with this on the computer change your perspective on whether or not you want to type your essay on a Chromebook or handwrite it? It's a lot faster to handwrite it for a lot of you. So that's definitely something I would suggest, is make sure you're choosing the method, either typing or handwriting, that is the fastest for you. It depends on the person. Like, I'm a much faster typer than I am handwriter, and it's also, my typing is a lot better than my handwriting, but it's about knowing that about yourself. Nyasha.
Establishing 2 subclaims.
Establishing the 2 subclaims in your thesis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So building off of what Nyasha just said, That is why we have the thesis in your planning page. It's a good way to get all your thoughts out, because when you look to rewrite your thesis, when you're actually writing your essay, you're going to naturally revise it and make it sound better and clearer. Great. Well, that is it for today. Don't start dropping out of Zoom yet. Be here on time, 10 a.m. tomorrow for Zoom. You get 50% for just for that classwork grade by showing up and being here for 50 minutes tomorrow. So be here on time tomorrow. Be prepared to write a DBQ. And again, tomorrow I want you to either handwrite it if you plan on handwriting your DBQ for the AP exam, or type it if you plan on typing it for the AP exam. Do not type it if it's on your phone. Do not, do not, do not. So make sure you are using a Chromebook or a laptop or whatever if you are planning on typing your essay. Because when it comes to the AP exam, I don't know how well you can copy and paste from a Google Doc into a completely secure server for the AP exam. And I don't want us creating technical issues, and we're gonna practice that now. That is it. Be here on time tomorrow. Please submit your work for today in the next 5 minutes. You can get APUSH off of your plate. It was really great seeing all of you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to stay on the call for the last 5 minutes. Be here at 3:15 for tutoring if you want to do corrections on your DBQ. That's it.
That was wild.
Goodbye, Madison.
What was it again? You had an error. Economic.
Ecompt.
That was funny. Anyways, bye. Teacher,
Bye,
appreciate.
Madison.
So, Miss White, do we have to do the exit ticket?
Yes, you have to do the exit ticket.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Yeah, so just finish it and then submit it so you can get it done and just be done with APUSH for the day.
All right.
Adarius, Ziara, do either of you guys have questions, or are you just still on the call?